bind, torture, and kill. Dennis Lynn Rader. From 1974 to 1991, the Wichita, Kansas area was haunted by a series of chilling murders committed by a man who would come to be known as the BTK Strangler. The acronym BTK stood for Bind, Torture, Kill People, a hauntingly accurate description of his methodical and sadistic killings. Over the course of nearly 3 decades, the city lived in fear as the identity of the killer remained a mystery, taunting authorities and the public alike. Good Lord, people. The first known victim of the BTK Strangler was a 15-year-old Joseph Otero. Lordy, whose life was taken in January 1974. The brutal crime, along with the subsequent murders of her family members, set the tone for the killer's reign of terror. The victims were often bound and tortured and left in such a way that left no doubt as to the predator's sinister motivation. Despite the investigation, the killings continued throughout the years, leaving the authorities stumped and the community on edge. What made the case even more terrifying was the killer's ability to toy with law enforcement. For years, BTK sent taunting letters to local newspapers, boasting about his crimes and mocking investigators. His letters were often cryptic and detailed, providing clues that both challenged police efforts and generated widespread fear. Fear amongst the community, people. Good Lord. His most infamous letters were sent in the late 70s and early 80s, in which he included gruesome details of the murders and even provided new insight into how he evaded capture. These communications were unlike anything seen in the history of American serial killers. And they fueled a sense of dread in the city. Good Lord, people.
Where's my yak? Oh.
Needed to take a drink for that. Good Lord, all this murder makes you thirsty, don't it? Anyway, for decades, the BTK Strangler identity remained unknown, despite the killer's frequent correspondence, the press and police. But then, in 2004, after a long silence, BTK resurfaced. He sent a letter to the local media, making the beginning of his final act. This letter, people, along with a chilling package containing graphic details of his past crimes, would ultimately lead to his capture. What seemed like a new chapter in his reign of terror would turn out to be his undoing. People, demons walk amongst us anyway. Dennis Lynn Rader, a seemingly ordinary man living in Park City, Kansas, was arrested in 2005. His chilling confession revealed the full extent of his crimes. Over the course of 30 years, Rader had murdered 10 people. Carefully planning each attack and reveling in the control he had over his victims and the police. His arrest, a result of his reckless re-emergence in 2004. He got slappy, people. He got slappy. Shocked the community, it was revealed that Rader had been living right under their noses, serving as a leader in the church. Good God, demons are walking within churches. People, be careful when you go to church, and holding a position as an administrative and holding a position as a administrative worker in the city. Rader's trial was as chilling as the details of his crimes. He pled guilty to all 10 murders, and in 2005 he was sentenced to 10 consecutive life sentences in prison without the possibility of parole. The once elusive killer who had managed to evade justice for decades was now finally behind bars, serving out the rest of his life in solitude. His capture brought closure to the long unresolved case, but it also left a lingering question. How had Rader managed to blend into society for so long while hiding his true nature?
She